Hello, and welcome back to Markup Unscripted. Today, I'm joined by my wonderful colleagues and friends, Sugandha,
Hi.
Ayushi,
Hi guys.
and Surbi,
Hello everyone.
and myself, Kaustubh Menon. And today, we're talking about things of the recent past. How was all of your Valentine's days, guys?
It was amazing.
I think it was just very subpar, normal stuff.
Boring.
That is not what I was expecting, but anyway, since Valentine's is an occasion of emotion and love and all those cheesy things, I thought wouldn't it be fun to talk about how us as marketers can play on these emotions and create a successful ad. So today's topic is how marketers play on emotions. So, what do you all think? Like, is it something that people consciously try to do? And if so, what is their thinking behind it?
I think they consciously do this because when you advertise and you pinpoint emotions, I think that is where consumer gets attached to the product basically.
So I think just like the brands consciously drive their campaigns around certain topical posts or let's say festivals or fests that they have. I think the same goes with even with emotions. They do try and propagate a certain spectrum of emotion through the brand or the advertisement that they're putting out.
So the relatability content is really high when you play on emotions. Emotions are by default, very complex. So marketers often, try to single down on one emotion and try to, bring out the maximum retention in terms of campaigns and advertising.
But we see that it's not just like it's not just one or two emotions that it's a huge range. Like if I as an outsider was to think about it, I would say unless you sell me on how this is fulfilling a need that is emotional to me. If you show me something like rage or excitement like thumbs up does, that I wouldn't think that really like consciously plays on my mind. But how does that work? How do like getting all these different kind of emotions, and what is the decision making? What do you guys think?
So, I worked as a digital marketer, and while we were working, we were taught that how different emotions, are related to different ROIs. Like, I know it sounds very technical, but like a campaign which is around happiness would always lead to a lot number of shares. Like example could be Coca-Cola's happiness drive that they
Yeah.
have. Then the second, anything that shows an element of scary behavior or surprise element would always lead to a longevity amongst the customers. So these are different spectrums that bring out different ROIs in terms of customer acquisition.
I also feel the emotions that marketers target depends upon what the product is. Or maybe what the company is about. Like there was this campaign of "Thank You Mom" by PNG. So it was relatable to the products that the company offered. Other than that, there's this Cadbury Celebrations ad on Rakhi. So all these things they try to relate with the brand as well as what they offer.
Whatever plays in that ad is exactly a setting that you would find in a regular Indian household, which is why I think it works.
That's great. So, okay, let me just go around the room and ask you all like, what are these standout like emotional ads that you guys can think of, like that you remember from your time?
So mostly you guys, two campaigns that I've seen that stand out for me. So Paper Boat is one of the biggest examples of bringing in nostalgia. So they constantly bring out these campaigns that are related to how we were back in school. Sharing the tiffin or enjoying your zero period or whatever breaks that you used to get. So that is one factor. I don't think they are targeting kids. They are mostly targeting people like us who want to live that nostalgia again. Which is why every single time I look at Paperboat, I am reminded of the fact that, oh, this is one drink that I used to have in my childhood and it still stays with me. The second campaign that stood out for me was whatever Tata does with their products. So when it comes to Tanishq or Tata Tea, changing stereotypes, bringing in, new thought process and everything. So they have constantly, stayed on with the change that is coming about in the society. So in Tanishq ads, you would see that people are, grandmom is passing her heirlooms to the younger generation, which shows like her support for the relationships of the kids that are coming up now.
I think one campaign which I came across very recently was, so you know how you have these life insurance ads which are very standard, like they would just say this is their policy, this is the return they would give. There's nothing gimmicky in that. But there was this one advertisement that was rolled out by LIC, in which they showed a conversation between a father and a son. So recently, what they showed in the background, that a son's friend's father had passed away. So he was contemplating and sitting on the couch that if, let's say, this happens to my family, then what I'm going to do? And then his father just smiles and say, no, we've got you covered. And then the whole advertisement rolls out at how, you need to take care for your family and get a life insurance and everything. And how they very slyly put in, what their service is providing. So I think that was a very, like a really nice, heartfelt campaign that I recently saw.
I would say the Dove campaign, wherein they were they showcased how girls are rejected on the basis of their looks and height. So I think that was the campaign that really impacted me, and not because it didn't only target girls but also the family members who face that scenario. I mean, everybody at some phase in their life faced that. So yeah, that. And then there are campaigns like Wildstone and Men Will Be Men. Yeah, Axe. So yeah.
So this is interesting now that you brought up the Dove thing, because I was going to ask you all about like Surbhi and Ayushi, your examples were more of like, there's a relationship building. That's what the main sentiment is. But there are some that are aspirational, that makes the person feel like, oh my God, if I do this, then this will happen.
Yeah.
And which brings me to Fair and Lovely. So the basic concept is that if you're not succeeding in life because people are rejecting you based on how you look, use our product, become fairer. And so, and it sold a lot. Like it was crazy. Like anybody would use it. Like people used to use it for like saffromycin also. But now you see what's happened to it, right? Like, so at what point do you think that brands also need to be aware of and like conscious and of what they are putting out there into society as well?
See, when the campaign started about Fair and Lovely, at that point I mean, it's very controversial to say, but at that point of time, marketers really did a good job, because they really pinpointed what the problem was. Yeah, the pain point was.
The pain point, yeah.
And at that point of time, nobody really cared about natural beauty and all. It is with time that people have started appreciating all the skin colors and natural beauty, inner beauty. So
I think it has got to do a lot also with the how the consumers are moving forward, how their mentality is changing, how they're trying to be more immersive, and this not only comes only from the consumers but also the makers of the products, like like Fenty Beauty by Rihanna. They have such a diverse range of shades, like I think something around 40 plus, I think, which is it was a commendable act alone. Like forget about the quality of the products or the fact that it's by Rihanna. The fact that this brand, the cosmetic brand, had such a wide range of shades was applauded a lot, and all it got a lot of appreciation. So I think it's both ways. It goes both ways. As people start moving ahead, they become a lot more woke, and they start learning and unlearning a lot of things, and the same applies to the marketers itself.
And okay, so now that we're being progressive markup and we've already charted into the controversial territory, let's take a deep dive into it right away. And I want to ask you about why everything sells better when there's an aspect of seductions and sexuality in it. Like, one, is it necessity? Two, why does it sell?
So it is absolutely not necessary to sell a product, that is for sure. However, when you put this element of sensuality in a campaign, there's some element of mystery, some element of, the hidden secret kind of a thing that, pulls in the consumer. So, humans by default are wired in such a way that they want to feel appreciated, that they want to be, appealing and wanted. So when you add this element of sensuality, it directly hits on that point wherein that person also wants to be, wanted in a way. That's why I think it works in certain campaigns.
I think this is pretty clear from all these advertisements that you see for men's fragrances and perfumes, where they would depict a guy who would just spray on a bottle and all the girls would be flocking towards him. I mean, I'm
Chick
sure
magnet.
chick magnet, right? I think advertisement that really plays in my mind every time I think of this is the Axe advertisement, wherein the guy was walking he was made up of chocolate himself.
Yeah.
Yes.
And as he passes by the road, like every girl comes in and takes a bite of the chocolate. So, the fact, like what Surbhi said, that everyone wants to be wanted and validated in a certain way. Of course, it's not necessary, but it's definitely like a head turner. Like it makes you want to stop by and pick up that bottle from the shelf and be like, you know what, maybe I should try this too.
I mean, these were the scenarios wherein wanted feeling and the appealing feeling came across. But then there are ads like Slice, where there is no such requirement of...
Yeah, quite honestly, if I saw that ad, with the armrest dripping down her throat and I'd be like, she'd just be sticky.
I know.
But then it's Katrina Kaif, so it automatically becomes,
Seductive and
Yeah.
So yeah, okay, fine. So speaking of ads like Slice, like there is no, even like if it's perfume or something, there's a direct correlation to sensuality. But something like Slice, the beverage, I don't see the connect. But still, it's still there. Like even if we see any, if even it's prevalent in movies also. Like movie could be about X, but you take this one Y factor of sensuality and put it like an item song and it sells. But so, do you think that there is the whole Fair and Lovely factor at play here? Like the marketers then, like Sugandha said, were aware that this might be like an inner feeling. So do you think that that's how it is?
So when you talk about Slice, the reason why it works is because it separates it out from the rest of the categories and beverages in that particular category. So every time you look at a Slice bottle, you are reminded of that sensuality factor and not the taste or anything else.
I know, right?
Which is why it sells.
Maza for the win, guys.
Also, when you think about fruity, it's like a drink for
It's like
maybe
a
children.
yeah.
But then you think about Slice, you're like, oh, okay.
You've taught me something, Sugandha. I remember this. So that was the end of our brilliant discussion. What do you guys think of it?
I absolutely loved it. I think it was Maza.
I am sad because it got over like really fast.
Yeah, same feelings. I could have kept speaking for another half an hour or an hour. It's such an interesting topic, yeah.
But like marketers do about sexuality, don't reveal the whole thing. You always need to give them surprise. Keep them guessing. Yeah, the mystery is important. So, but the fun obviously doesn't end here. We're here on to our trivia round.
Yay!
Okay, so this week's trivia is a little different. I know I say that about every trivia, but this one it is. It's a little off topic. Since we were talking about ads that play on emotion, I know one recurring ad that has done it successfully every single time it rolls out, and I am talking about the Amul girl ads. Okay, and they cover every topical thing, and it's always on point with all these puns. So I'm gonna give you the pun and what the tagline is. You have to tell me for what occasion this ad was made.
Alright.
Okay, fun.
Yeah. Definitely.
Okay, great. So the first one is the new Boritish PM, Amul Life of the Party. This was rolled out in July 2019. The Life of the Party.
Boris?
Yeah. When Boris was appointed the Prime
as
Minister.
Prime Minister.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. The next one says For the dimple pleasures, Amul, 10 on Tenet.
For the movie Tenet.
Yeah, but more specifically for the dimple pleasures.
Oh, Dimple Kapadia starring in it.
Yeah. So this is when Bombay was supposed to be the location for Tenet. When they shot that part, that's when they rolled this out when they came. Fun. The next one is New Unchai for Pichai. Sundar snack.
When
When he
Sundar
got
was
appointed for
Correct.
This was easy.
Okay. This is the most recent one, which says ये सबको digest होता है. 100% equity on taste. Amul.
Shark Tank?
Yeah. Shark Tank.
I
Okay.
think equity was the key term here.
And the last one is Kapil's to everyone. 80 treat.
83.
Brilliant, guys. You all are so smart.
Thank you, Costa.
Thanks a lot for listening, guys. Do check out our older podcast as well. We're available on Spotify and YouTube. This was Markup Unscripted. We'll be back soon with more fun topics to talk about, more fun people to share this enthusiasm with. And see you guys. Until then, stay safe. Bye-bye.
Bye. Have an amazing time.